Hold up. Every day I wake up.
Wake your ass up.
The Breakfast Club.
Y'all finished or y'all done?
Yes, it's the world's most dangerous morning show, The Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God, Loren LoRosa, DJ Envy, Jess Hilarious, and I don't know where Jess went. Well, I know where Jess went. I don't know where Envy went, though.
He on his way back in.
He's on his way back? Okay, we have Councilman James Solomon. He's running for mayor of Jersey City. Good morning, Councilman.
Thank you for having me.
Now, they did not tell us who this brother is. I have no idea. Nobody told us anything. They just said Councilman James Solomon was coming, so I am sorry, sir. I think that's actually why Envy walked out.
Because he normally doesn't.
I'm not
He didn't know what was going on.
Not because he didn't know you. He didn't know how to introduce you, whatever. So I don't have a problem with looking like I don't know nothing.
I'm Councilman Frank, Educational Gilmore.
Okay.
So Frank's councilman here in Ward F, in Jersey City.
Man.
That's why you walked out?
What? They were giving us the information on the brother, but that's why I walked out.
I just thought I didn't know anything. They told us Councilman Solomon was coming.
Envy was ready to get prepared.
Yeah, no, they were giving us
yeah,
the information on the brother. I should say give him a second.
Oh, well, we here now. We already started.
We here now.
Yes.
All right. Well, welcome. How y'all doing?
Yeah.
Wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing well. So, Councilman James Solomon,
Yes.
so you're running for mayor of Jersey City.
That's right.
Why?
It's a great question. So Jersey City has gotten being one of the most unaffordable cities in the entire country. Rents up 50% in 5 years.
Because it's right next to the bridge.
That's right.
Got the
and
view.
the Holland Tunnel. Property tax up 50% in 5 years. And we haven't had a leader who's been focused on actually making the city affordable, putting money in people's pockets, making sure the rent doesn't go through the roof. And so I'm running to deliver an affordable Jersey City.
Are you from Jersey City?
I grew up in Millburn, and I moved to Jersey City 15 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're familiar with Jersey City, the traffic. So how do you stop the traffic out in Jersey City? That's one of the first things. Traffic is always nuts in Jersey City.
Tell people to move.
Yeah. No, we're not doing that. So,
And two is the expenses. And how are you going to get the cost of living down so much where people can actually live there?
yeah. So first thing on that one is we got to get tougher on development, right? Jersey City developers have taken a lot, and it's time for them to start giving back to us. So right now we basically had luxury-only development, so no affordable in Jersey City. Tens of thousands of units. So I'm the only candidate running for mayor, as well as the councilman. We don't take money from developers in our campaign. Gives us some real independence. So we're going to demand 20% affordable in all new projects with real rent. So rent's $1,000 a month, rent's $1,500 a month. Because folks say affordable, but what does that actually mean? So we want to be specific. Rent's $1,000 a month, rent's $1,500 a month. And then on transportation, I think a big thing is just trying to make our mass transit work better. So I say for your New York viewers, PATH is actually worse than MTA. It's worse than the subway. We had a train light on fire a couple months ago. So we're going to push to get our PATH service running much more effectively, particularly on the weekends, improve our light rail. Jersey City's got a great light rail. And then improve the buses. We think we can push and do all those things.
Now, I want to ask you, bro, tell us the importance of the city council for people who don't know.
So the importance of the city council is really the check and balance mechanism for the executive branch. So if you're looking at the president, and then you have the House of Representatives, and you have Congress, they're supposed to be that check and balance mechanism from the executive branch. And I would make the argument that the council races are more important than the actual mayoral races, because the mayor may want to introduce something, but ultimately the council is tasked with either approving or voting that initiative down. So the city council level is so important, especially to everyday residents.
And if I can just add one thing, so Frank and I are the only two members currently on the council that got our seats independently. New Jersey City got a really strong political machine, really powerful forces, and each of us got to our seats by starting on the grassroots, knocking on doors, being connected to the people. And that's partly why we've always been aligned politically. And you need independent voices on the council, because if you don't have them, you just get the rubber stamp over and over again. Whatever the machine wants, whatever the money wants, that's what they get. And so you really need to have independent voices on your city council pushing the city forward.
One thing Jersey City is also known for is bad flooding, right? Had a car wash in Jersey City maybe about 15 years ago, right? And
What street?
don't even remember the street.
Yeah.
Main Street going up as soon as you come out the Holland Tunnel, right on the right-hand side.
Oh, yeah.
Bought that car wash.
Yeah, I know
over
exactly
there.
where you are.
Okay.
And then it closed it. You know why?
Because it flooded?
It flooded, right? So it flooded so bad that for like 2 weeks at a time, nobody could actually get to my car wash because there was so much water there. And then when they got a car wash, they'd have to drive through the water, which made
the
it
car
dirty.
back dirty.
So it didn't make any sense. So why is Jersey City always flooded, and what can be done to make sure that doesn't happen as much?
Yeah, it's a great question. So if you look at the old maps, like where your car wash was, like it used to be water. I mean, the Hudson River used to be there, and then they filled it in over the years. And so what we can do is a couple different things. One is like you kind of getting like wonky, but like you kind of want to treat your city like a sponge. You want more trees because they suck up the water. You want more poor surfaces, your pavement to be able to soak up the water. And then you get more pumps to basically push the water out. So it's just like investments, and it's thinking for the future because it's not getting better, right? Climate change is getting worse, right? We had Hurricane Ida. I mean, I was in people's basements seeing the flooding devastation. I mean, people's livelihoods. I mean, people lived in the city their whole lives, all their stuff gone. And so we have to be committed to basically making sure that Jersey City has the best stormwater resiliency programs, expand your sewers, create that sort of porous sponge-like surfaces wherever you can, and then you help with the flooding.
And you're a cancer survivor.
I am, yes.
How does your own medical history drive your agenda for healthcare?
I mean, it's the core, I think, of who I am and why I got into public service. I mean, so just to tell the quick story, right? So I was 30, had gotten married, and a month after the wedding, got the diagnosis. Oh, wow. So you just think, you're 30, you think you're invincible, the life's in front of you, and all of a sudden you have cancer. And it made me think deeply about what it is that I wanted in life. And for me, it was just two things. It was family and public service. So it's like, if I get better, if I get that second chance, that's what I want. And I got lucky, right? Treatment worked. 6 months later, I was in remission. So actually, this is the 10-year anniversary of the diagnosis. And so 9 years back in health. And so I was like, family, public service. So my wife and I have 3 beautiful daughters, Camila, Corinne, and Noelle. They're 7, 5, and 3. And then it was give back to Jersey City, because like Jersey City had my back during my toughest time. So I was like, I have to have their back, and I got to do it the right way. And so that's what led me to run for office. And in council, I know that I have to pay it forward. I know that I got to make sure that people have access to healthcare. So as a city, we've expanded our healthcare options. We've opened up clinics. We're making sure more people can get healthcare. And at the national level, it made me a supporter of universal healthcare. It made me say, look, like when you're going through that tough treatment, you need to be focused on yourself and your family. To then have to be worried about insurance and bills on top of that, to add that extra stress that like your illness might bring bankruptcy to your family, like that is awful to force somebody through. So for me, it made me a supporter of universal health care. And I think, look, other countries, they don't have medical bankruptcies, but we do. And so that's what led me to decide that was the right approach for us. So on the national level, I always support candidates that are pushing for universal health care.
During the times right now, though, where like Medicaid and Medicare, like there's so much conversation about things being cut, and something will happen. We don't know everything, right? But something will. How do you, personally as a cancer survivor, deal with the residents that you're fighting for when you have to possibly prepare to tell them, I might not be able to help you? As a politician, how do you maneuver that?
I mean, those are the most brutal conversations, because like you get into politics because you want to help people, but you also can't lie to them, right? And, on healthcare, we know the Medicaid cuts are coming. And I mean, part of what I kind of hated about what Trump did was he cut it, but he put it after the election, right? So you're going to feel those cuts in 2027, not this year, so he can get through the election before people feel it. But I just tell people that I fight, right? I think that's the thing, is you can't promise things you can't deliver, but you can promise that you're going to fight. And so when these elections come in 2026, I'm going to fight for candidates that want health care and get them into office.
I've been living in Jersey for about, I would say, 20 plus years, 25 years, something like that. And our station was by Canal Street, so we're very familiar with going through Jersey City. How come nothing ever changes, right? There's been so many different mayors in the last 20 years that I've been living in Jersey City, right? It's still the same. It's still traffic is crazy. Yeah. It's still, floods all the time. It's still expensive. It's still very, very costly, even everything. But it seems like nothing ever changes. So what will be different with you?
I think we start as a councilman. We're connected to the people. Like we start there. Neither of us got to where we got because the machine put us there. And you've seen that over the years, right? The machine picks their person, and then you don't serve the people, you serve the bosses. And I think what we're going to be able to do is actually get into office and fight for folks. So again, not taking that developer money, that's huge. Jersey City has had so much growth and development, which isn't a bad thing, but it hasn't been for the whole community. Right? So making sure we actually get affordable units in, getting those $1,000 a month rents in those large new luxury towers, that's doable. It's a thing we can deliver. And I think people will see that. If you're actually a mayor whose dream it is to be mayor, too often people have used it as a stepping stone for the next thing. And I respect politicians with ambition. Obviously wouldn't be here if I didn't have some. But I do think mayor's the dream job, that you actually get to serve your community every day, go home at night and put your kids to bed. Like I couldn't imagine a better job. And I think people will see that they have a mayor who's actually, gives a shit about them.
But
what do you think, Councilman Gilmore?
I think also when you're talking about the municipal government and you're talking about the budget and you're talking about ways to find money, we looked and we seen that there was several individuals not paying the payroll tax, right? And these institutions historically get away with not paying because of their ties to elected leadership. You know, they give these guys hundreds of thousands of dollars in their campaigns to turn their back when they see unethical things taking place. So when you have a government that's grounded and working for the people, you can ensure that the people that's making the most money is paying their fair share. What that do, it release the burdens on everyday homeowners that own 1 and 2 family homes, right? Their taxes are not so high because we're collecting the share that we're supposed to be collecting. With the amount of development that transpired in Jersey City within the last 7 to 10 years, there's no way you can have more development and the cost of living going up. You have more rateables, you have more money coming in. Something isn't right here, right? And there's a system that say, you know, put the onus on them and, you know, they'll do what's right.
Yeah.
Right? You need a government that's going to be transparent and that's going to hold those developers accountable. You know, I get the kickback. Oh, he's anti-development. No, I'm not. I'm just pro-responsible development, right? We want to make sure the development that's taking place, 1, benefits the community, and 2, the developers are paying their fair share.
I call it, well, Killer Mike always calls it compassionate capitalism.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's what I agree.
Yeah.
That's what I agree it should be. Compassionate capitalism. Like, I look at somebody like Zoran Mondani's campaign, right? And all he's talking about is people having more money in their pocket and people being safe. I don't know why politicians complicate any of this. That's all any American wants.
Well, when people giving you money, you got to complicate. You kind of got to do your job, you know?
So your job is to complicate things.
No, what I'm saying is when you have people who have a vested interest in you and they're giving you these monies and they're, you know, taking care of your family members and, you know, you're giving out these contracts to all these people who super PAC and supporting you, and that's the messiness in politics, right? So you kind of lose yourself. They offered me to give me X amount of money to run on a certain slate. And I was like, well, I can't be Councilman Gilmore. The people like the councilman that represent the interests of the people.
Right.
That's what makes me unique. That's the only way I could win a race with 50,000 going against 2.5 million, right? It's because the people like representation, 1, that understand the problems, 1, that look like them, and 2, that come from where they come from, right? That's what make me unique. So it's a disservice to all of the people who supported me for me to say, hey, now I'm in a position to do what I fought against my whole career.
I agree.
And I want to talk about, I'm sorry, one other thing, crime, because you mentioned crime with Manani. You know, they're saying that homicides is down, which is a great thing.
Yes.
But everything else is up. When they talking stolen vehicles is up, assaults is up, thefts is up, criminal mischief is up. How do we cut back on some of the crime that's happening in Jersey City? Because a lot of people, where Jersey City was a place where a lot of people go to restaurants, they would go to the nightlife was big at one time, but it's slowed down a lot, which is hurting businesses because crime is up. So how do you combat that?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I think it's like you do an all of the above approach. So first is we do need some more officers. We've lost 150 over the last 5 years. So get some more officers, get them on the street. Our current police chief keeps them literally in these fixed posts where they're not allowed to move. So if there's a crime that happens a block away, you say, hey, officers, there's a crime. They'll literally tell you, I can't move, call it in. A block away. That's nuts. So we're going to change that approach, actually get folks off on the beat and moving. But then you got to invest in the community, right? Ultimately, part of the reason that those petty crimes have gone up is we're not offering opportunities for young people in Jersey City. So we're going to change that. We're going to have a plan for 1,000 summer jobs, get folks off the street, give them youth opportunities, income too, to be able to find what gives them validation, find what gives them hope. And then we got a plan to basically make sure we have violence interrupters everywhere in the city.
Now they're saying that a lot of officers are leaving because they feel like the city is not behind them, meaning people are getting arrested and they're rearresting the same people over and over and over again. They're getting non-cash bails and they're coming out and doing these same crimes. And a lot of officers are saying that, you know, why risk my life in Jersey City when I can go down south where they feel like they respect the law a lot better.
Where south, what down South Jersey or
no? I'm talking
the southern part of
Florida.
Florida.
I'm talking Houston. I'm talking in places like that where they feel like.
Well, I mean, I'm on the record. I'm a huge fan of cashless bails. Being in that situation and seeing several individuals sitting in the county jail for 2 and 3 years for petty crimes because they don't have the financial stability to get out. But there needs to be a conversation for repeat offenders. I remember at one point when this first no cash bail came into play, and we seen a lot of people who was arrested for firearms being able to come home and subsequently some of those individuals end up dead or killing other people. So I think that, you know, while there are some benefits, there are some setbacks that we need to be able to tweak out. And ultimately, I think the state have done a better job with that, keeping violent offenders in there longer until they either, I guess, sentenced or exonerated or however that go. But when you're talking about crime, right, in order to really address crime, you have to first understand crime, right? So we've done a fairly decent job as it relates to homicides and violence crimes being down across the city. And that's because we have organizations like Hudson Partnership, CMO, Credible Messengers, you know, a bunch of groups that I work with. We do what we call high-level intervention with individuals who may participate in gang violence and things like that. So it's about funding those institutions. They're doing this stuff with no money. With no money on a shoestring budget. So we invest in them, they can do more. Now, when you're talking about petty crime, what are some of the motivations of individuals committing petty crime? A lot of these crimes are people breaking in cars, stealing laptops because it's visible, taking change and things like that. These are people with drug addiction. These are people that have problems, right? You treat the problem and not the symptom. Right, you get these people in rehabs. You have opportunities for them to rehabilitate themselves, right? And that's how you have a holistic approach to crime.
Do you think the gentrification in Jersey City will be beneficial, or will be too many residents being displaced?
Well, gentrification is already there. Right, so I always tell people,
a million in Jersey City.
Yeah, man.
Certain parts.
I always tell people, listen, at the end of the day, I already know I'm a black man in America, right? I'm of the opinion, right? If gentrification is here, you have to be a part of the system. It's coming. In fact, it's already here, right? I'm encouraging people, and this is outside of politics, right? Buy up whatever you can buy up. Get together with 2 or 3 people. Buy it up. Buy your grandmother house. Get your family house. Don't sell the house. Right, because gentrification is here, and to really have stake in the game, you have to own property. You have to have ownership. I don't care who's in charge. You have to have ownership. So you have to be proactive, man. It's already here, and you have to become a willing participant inside of this cycle, right? And I tell people all the time, right, crime is going to move, because that's the good thing about gentrification, right? It eradicates a certain element of a community, right? Because there's an influx of not just black or white, it's just individuals on the higher end of the socioeconomical ladder, right? People that make more money. So with that group of people, it's certain stuff that's just not going to be around, right? So the gentrification is there. There's also an opportunity for people to benefit from it. Right, I ain't sitting around complaining about, oh, this person is buying up this, that. No, participate. Get with a brother or sister. I got 2 friends. They paying $3,000 on each floor in the house. Get a mortgage. Right? Don't get in the business of complaining. Like, let's do something about it.
Programs do y'all?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Most of the time, there's no programs.
No.
They can't put down money. There's no money to put down.
Sometimes people don't know about the
That's
programs.
what it
I was going
is.
to ask you.
Yes.
But, okay, so politicians that come here, or just in general when I talk to them, they'll name all these programs and all these resources, but when you just talk to the regular person who grandmom is 10 years back taxes, you don't even have the energy to think about that, and you don't know who to call to find out, right? What are you doing to bridge that gap of, hey, I'm giving you the resources because I want to make sure y'all can be in an ownership conversation?
And this is what Frank is great at, right? So, you know, he calls himself Frank Educational Gilmore, but there's a reason for that, right? You know, Frank is in the community every day. He literally goes door to door to let people know. He held a couple of specific meetings about, hey, how do you benefit from home ownership? How do you access the resources that are there? And the community trusts Frank. And so Frank is out there every day doing that. But I think it gets back to something you were talking about with Mamdani. It's just understanding that, like, part of our job is money in people's pockets, right? Part of the reason, you know, people didn't care about things Mamdani tweeted 6 years ago was because he showed that he was actually the one guy who was willing to fight some powerful interests to get more money in people's pockets, right? Freeze rent, right? Get more affordable homes built. And that's what we're doing. And that's what I think for ultimately this like race is about. It's like, look, we got people who should be able to buy their homes, who should be able to stay in Jersey City, but they don't know about it. And we're going to actually be focused on getting them money because we don't have other people telling us what to do. We don't have bosses giving us order. We don't have developers demanding that we prioritize them over the homeowners. But we're going to be out there every day knocking on doors, hosting community meetings, and like getting people education so they can actually benefit from changes that are happening in the community.
And also, like something my office did, right? we host these first-time home buyer seminar. We just had one Saturday, right? And we have a newsletter that go out. I'm very involved in the community, and my whole thing is I'm telling people is like, this is what's available. My whole platform is about educating people. This is really the main reason I'm into politics. I don't like politics, to be completely honest, right? But I'm in it because I want to help people out, right? And I'm encouraging them. It's like, it seems hard because in Black and brown communities, like, we don't have these conversations about home ownership as much as we should. Right, so I'm encouraging. I remember I'm a recipient of a first-time home buyer's house. It took me a year to close on that house. The people I was working with, they said, Mr. Gilmore, you have encountered every single setback that you can encounter in purchasing a house. Right, so I use that to fuel me to help the next person, to help the next family. I'm teaching them outside of my job that if your house have a lien on it, what you can do to get this lien off, how you can leverage the equity in your house. Because we're looking at the house. I'm looking at the value in the land, right? So it's about educating. That's the most important thing that I think I really was successful at accomplishing this first term, is educating the people. And I think that's the most important thing, is education.
Now, you shot up in the polls, right? You a year ago, you were down low. Yeah. And you shot back up where it's almost neck and neck. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, well, it gets back to money in pockets, right? Being directly focused on affordability each and every day. But then also it's the dynamic of the race, and it's not too different than what you guys seen in New York. I know you guys are all Jersey residents, but what folks in New York have seen, right? My main opponent is a disgraced former governor. Not Andrew Cuomo, Jim McGreevey, who resigned in scandal 20 years ago. And he started with everybody, right? The governor endorsed him. All the bosses endorsed him. He raised $5 million, which is like 3 times as much as anybody's ever raised in Jersey City before. And so, he starts at the lead. But just like Cuomo came back down to earth, it's the same thing with McGreevey, because when you knock on someone's door, they don't care about any of that. The only thing they're asking about is, how can I make your life better? That's it. And I can show, look, on the city council, we banned the use of illegal algorithms to set rents high. We repealed the fees they put on our free public pools. We've been about doing work for people in the community. And so when you get to tell that story to people, they're like, hey, I might not have known about you 6 months ago, but I want you to be the mayor because you seem like you're actually going to try to make my life better. The guy who reports to Charles Kushner, he's not going to make my life better.
Councilman Gilmore, why are you supporting Councilman Solomon?
Oh, that's a great question. I've supported Councilman Solomon because he's been like one of my biggest allies on the council, and I've witnessed how he worked firsthand. We're the only 2 independent council people, and just to give you guys a reality on how that looks, that means we only have 2 votes. You need 5 votes to get anything passed. So whenever the administration come in with something that's like, the regular person will look and say, this is dumb. Why is they voting and it get passed? Is because the administration have these council people that's a part of the administration, and they just vote for whatever the administration want. I've witnessed Councilman Solomon work with the odds against us 7-2 and to get meaningful legislation passed. I've witnessed him argue with legal and say, listen, I didn't ask you if we can do it or we can't do it. I'm saying find a way in which we can do it, because they're notorious for saying, oh, we can't do this, we can't do that, right? Whenever it's me or Councilman Solomon coming to them. But everybody else, they go and they try to make a way. So for me, when I'm looking at it, I'm looking at, one, who is really genuine about doing the job, who have the experience, who can have the financial capacity to get to the finishing line, and who I will be able to work with best to get the most resources for my ward. Because ultimately, I want to make sure my residents in Ward F are taken care of. And Councilman Solomon have proven to be that individual. Fun fact, everybody running for mayor wanted me before they even made any announcements. Everybody. If we can get Gilmore, we're in a good position, right? So they used to say I was like the hot, my friend would say, you're the hot chick in high school. Everybody wants you. And I waited patiently and I looked at who was, because for me, like, who you're connected to is really important. My mentor say, be mindful of the company you keep.
Right up.
Right, so, and I see Councilman Solomon have done a great job by surrounding himself around people who's really into doing the business of the municipal government. For me, I said, I have to get behind that, right? And, like I said, people who have offered me very lucrative things. And some people was looking at me like, oh, what is wrong with this guy? He don't understand politics. And I'm like, no, I don't understand politics the way you understand it.
All right.
Right? So that's why I'm supporting Councilman Solomon. And that's why he's going to be our next mayor.
Dope.
All right. Well, in wrapping, closing this out, what do you want to say to your residents in Jersey City?
Well, it was the question, Envy, you asked, which was like, things haven't changed. So I get the cynicism. I get why people are frustrated, but I do think we can have hope. We can have genuine public servants that each and every day get up and think their job is to serve other people and make their lives better. So I ask for everyone's vote if you live in Jersey City, because genuinely we can make the city more affordable. We can end the luxury-only housing and get housing that actually people can afford. We have a plan to get rent-to-own for teachers, firefighters, nurses, cops, make sure that they're able to stay in the city that they serve. We're going to cap rent increases, and we're going to stabilize property taxes, which have gone up 50% in 5 years. So if you want leadership that's independent, that puts the people first, and the only boss is the residents of Jersey City, then we're asking for your vote.
Just last question. I thought that was the last one.
No, keep going.
With so many influencers, artists, and et cetera, in Jersey City, have you guys ever said, you know what, let me work with them to make sure that we can protect our own community? Because somebody might be strong here. I seen what Ross Baraka did a long time ago. Well, this guy might be strong in this ward. This guy might be strong in this ward. And if we work together, we can stop some of the crimes. Have you guys?
Yeah, I mean, so that's the approach. Roz, shout out to my brother, Ross Baraka. That's my big brother. That's my mentor. And that's something we've done like on a micro level. We haven't really got to the place where we need to get to as it relates to that. But to your point, that is so important. These are the people that's on the ground that actually know the people, and they are related to the people. So you have to, one, fund that initiative, and two, be serious about it, right? Don't fund it 1 year or halfway and then the next year not fund it, right? I'm looking at Newark, because Newark in Jersey City is similar in a lot of things, and I'm looking across the bridge and I'm saying, wow, they're doing a lot of great things, like the 24 hours of peace. Like, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. Now people feel like they're a part, like we belong, right? So they're more vested. It's kind of like the homeowner versus the renter, right? Homeowners take more care of the property because they understand how it affects their property value, right? And you just make sure everyone's a part of the conversation, everyone is benefiting, and I think ultimately it's the ideal match. It's a match made in heaven when we do that.
Councilman Solomon, they just dropped a hit piece on you in the Jersey City Times. They said you come from a privileged background. I don't, I saw them do that on Mondani, and I'm like, I don't see why that matters if a person cares about public service. Like, I don't.
You're going to penalize me from my parents making the right decision. That's kind of how life should work. Your parents should put you in the best position to succeed.
And you asked Charlamagne about like the cancer diagnosis, like that, it was this thing that like just all the scales fell away. No, that's what matters is, are you dedicating your life to making other people's lives better? That's right. And do you fight for what's right? And when I knock on someone's door, the question is, how are you going to lower my rent? How are you going to make sure my kid's public school is better? How are you going to make sure I can cross the street safely and not get run over? How are you going to make sure stop the flooding? Those are the questions they ask. And I think we're going to win because we don't get distracted by all the the BS. We just talk about how we're going to make your life better.
Absolutely.
For the city.
Well, Councilman Gilmore, Councilman Solomon, good luck.
I appreciate it.
Make sure you go out there and vote. When can they go out there and vote?
So early voting is open now, so you can vote 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 12 sites across Jersey City, and then Election Day is November 4th. Polls are open 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Election Day in New Jersey.
Now get out there and vote, and we appreciate you brothers for joining us.
We appreciate it. Thank you
for having us.
It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Hold up. Every day I wake up. Wake your ass up. The Breakfast Club.
Y'all finished or y'all done?